goes. I stuffed it, added a hat and a head, and we'll see what happens here. What do I think about that thing? The beans definitely need sprayed. 15-gallon sprayer, 3.5 acres, about a 6-7 foot swath. It's gonna take a little bit of time. Just under 3% glyphosate. I might add a little bit more. It all depends. The exclusion cage up there tells you everything you need to know on why you see a fence around here. It went in so easily. It was the easiest thing out of all this food plotting I've done, was put up this fence. I can't believe I've never done it before. I learned my lesson. We'll always have this fence. All we gotta do is wind it up properly when we're done. Scarecrows, by the way, no, they don't work. I tried them in Texas a few years ago. They kind of worked. I tried them here, and the next day they were basically rubbing up against them. They don't work at all. Here we go. No time to waste. I've got 40 PSI on the gauge, and it's really putting it out. If I put out 5 gallons in just a short perimeter, half of the perimeter, then I think I can increase my speed just a little bit. But look at all this, and I don't want to get too close because I have screening right to my right. That grass right there that you see up against the woods, that's the Sudan grass. It's sorghum Sudan grass hybrid, I guess. That's what I'm going to try to use for screen this year. I don't want to use anything permanent because I might change the design of the layout, or the layout design, whatever, same thing, next year. So we'll see how this goes. I'm not too worried about it. I'm mostly worried about these weeds right now. I'll get the weed eater later on once I get done with this, and we'll go through and weed eat these weeds off of the fence. You see how they're touching right there? That's not good. Look at this grass, thick. Look at these weeds. All right, here, sweet corn's up here, so I can't hit that. And you always have wind drift to worry about, and it's getting windy. I feel like that's way too much pressure. Keep moving, John. Maybe 30, let's go 30 PSI, because we are putting out a ton of water. If I run out, I'll have to go get more. That's all there is to it. I don't want to skimp out on this. Getting good coverage. God. That could have been bad. That's enough of that. Well, here it is a month later. We used 4 tank loads to spray this. It did a really good job. Everything ended up burning down pretty good except this darn Indian hemp. And I just had one in my hand, this stuff here, which originally I thought it was milkweed in the early stage. When it's young, it looks like milkweed, but it's not. It's this darn Indian hemp. So it's showing up here. And I don't want to drive all through my soybeans right now. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, even with a light little 4-wheeler. But I got to get rid of this Indian hemp. I may have to get, if I don't have a backpack sprayer, I just have one of those little 1-gallon things. But I got to do something about that because it's growing like a weed. It's been 2 months since these have been planted, the beans, and it's been 1 month since we've sprayed. It's also been 1 month since we put this fence up. And they're still trying to rebound from all that. They are starting to flower. I can see some flowers developing here and there. We just haven't had much rain at all this summer. It's unreal how these storms keep missing us, but it is what it is. They look like they're canopied over. From down low, they look great. But once you get up above and start looking, they're not even close, which is why I have these weed problems. I figured they'd be canopied over pretty quick, but they're not. that just goes to show you how many beans got nipped off from those darn deer before the fence was up. Like I said, this 3.5 acres, I'm guessing it's close to 500 pounds of soybean seeds on this. And they were still able to nip it down. I mean, it doesn't take that long. You get 15 or 20 deer out here nipping, and when it only takes one nip to kill a whole bean plant, I mean, it doesn't take that long at all. So that's it. The beans are slowly coming along. I wish I would have just had the fence up at the very beginning, because now, I mean, I get it. That's what the beans are for. I planted them for the deer to eat, but we have so many deer, they'll be gone in 4 or 5 days. This whole field will be wiped out. And then you have no food left for the winter for the turkeys and the deer for a winter food source when there's nothing here for them to eat at all. There's leaves and sticks. So do you leave the fence up until the bean pod produces? Do you take half the fence down and save half and plant brassicas over there, some oats over here? Or do you just take the whole fence down and say forget it and waste all that time? It's because it's a lot of work. There was a lot of work put in to planting these, and you hate to see it. There's so much food right now, not winter food, but there's a lot of food right now that these deer eat. They just eat this because they like it, because it tastes good. There's ragweed that has just as much protein content as a soybean for the most part. Don Mealy, what do I do? I'm trying not to walk in this much because there's still dew on the ground and I have to do a lot of work today. I'm actually probably wearing the same shirt because this is my spraying shirt, and I hate spraying in shorts and a t-shirt, even though it does get hot. But I have to spray some clover and some other beans. Here's some you can see that's starting to flower. And that goes on for a while, so now is when we need the rain. They actually look pretty good out here. There's a spot that's even higher. I think I put pictures of the exclusion cage in there, and that was earlier in the year. I'll get a picture of the exclusion cage, what it looks like now. That's what this whole field should look like. And if that was the case, I'd, fine, open up half of it, let them browse on the leaves on the first half, save the second half for bean pod production for the turkeys and everything, and the deer in the winter time. And it'd be great. But like right in here, look at this. But anyhow, so that's it with the beans. The other thing I wanted to do is see what the soil temperature was. Got my little handy dandy. This thing's junk. I can shake it around and change it by 3 to 4 degrees. Now she's dropping like a rock. 70. 68. 66. 64. That one's 60. 62. I'll let it stabilize here. Right at 60 degrees is my soil temperature, and that's that deep. Nope. So I've been curious about that, the whole soil temperature thing. So it's 60 degrees, whatever that means. I was kind of expecting it to be a little higher than that, but I was expecting a lot of things that didn't happen. Like, this is a heck of a nice bean plant right here. Splits, look at all those flowers. If we would just get some rain. Okay, so that's it on the beans. It's been 2 months since they've been planted. They should be twice this high. Next year will be better. I'll update you here in a month or so, and we'll see what it looks like then. But thank God for the fence is all I can say. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.